Have you ever been on a late-night train, the kind where the rhythmic clatter of the wheels is the only sound? Imagine this. You're tired. The world outside is just a blur of rain and darkness, and the flickering lights overhead make you feel like you're in a dream. This is where we find Arjun, exhausted, on what he thinks is the last train home. The digital sign overhead blinks with a strange destination, Raven's Crossing, a name he's never heard of, a place that doesn't show up on his phone's map. The train screeches to a halt, not at a station, but in the middle of nowhere. The doors hiss open to reveal a deserted, fog-shrouded platform. A lone woman stands there, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, her hair clinging to her pale face. She steps onto the train without a word, and the doors immediately slam shut. The air grows cold. Arjun watches as she takes a seat across from him. She stares blankly out the window, ignoring him completely. He notices her shoes are soaked, leaving small puddles on the floor. But it wasn't raining on the platform. A small, unsettling detail. Trying to break the heavy silence, he says, "Raven's Crossing." "It's not on the map." She doesn't reply. The silence stretches on, broken only by the clack, clack, clack of the tracks. The train feels like it's moving through a void. Suddenly, the lights flicker violently. For a split second, the reflection in the window changes. It's not darkness outside anymore. It's water. Endless black water rushing past the train. Arjun blinks, shaking his head, convinced he's just overtired. But the woman finally turns to him. Her eyes are dull, eerily calm. "You shouldn't be on this train," she says, her voice a soft whisper. Arjun tries to laugh it off. "I guess you shouldn't be either then." She tilts her head, as if listening to a sound he can't hear. Then she says the words that freeze his blood. It doesn't stop for the living. Just as she speaks, the train lurches violently. The lights go out completely. When they flicker back on, the world has changed. The modern train car is gone. He's now in an old carriage with wooden seats and brass fixtures. The woman across from him seems more transparent now, like a fading photograph. "What's happening?" Arjun stammers. "This is where it happened," she says softly. Suddenly, his mind is flooded with images not his own. The terrifying sounds of twisting metal, shattering glass, and screams. Water pouring into a train car as it plunges into a river. He gasps, pulling back to his own reality. "That accident," he whispers. "That was 30 years ago." The woman nods slowly. "I was coming home," she says, looking at her hands as they begin to fade. The train never made it. The lights flicker again, and this time they're not alone. The car is now filled with other passengers. All of them are pale, soaked to the bone, and silent. A child with vacant eyes grips a rusted handrail, water dripping from his hair. They all stare. Some stare forward into nothingness, but some stare directly at Arjun. "Why am I seeing this?" he breathes, his voice shaking. The woman studies him with a strange, pitying look. "You fell asleep," she says. "No," Arjun insists. "I was awake. I'm awake right now." But as he says it, a sharp pain pierces his chest. His memory hits him with the force of a physical blow. He sees himself driving on a rainy night, the blinding headlights of a truck swerving into his lane, the screech of tires, the impact, and then water rushing in. Darkness. He looks at the woman, the horrifying truth dawning on him. I died? The train begins to slow again. Outside, a faintly glowing platform comes into view, crowded with hundreds of waiting figures. A sign hangs above them, Raven's Crossing, but the train doors don't open for him. A conductor appears at the end of the car. His uniform is soaked, and his face is a blur. He stops beside Arjun and consults a list. "You're early," the conductor says, his voice hollow, before moving on. The doors finally slide open, and the other ghostly passengers begin to disembark. The woman stands. Some of us don't cross right away, she explains, gesturing to the train. We ride. We remember. We wait. She steps onto the platform, but turns back one last time. When the train stops again, don't fight it. The doors close, the platform fades, and Arjun is alone. The digital sign flickers back to life. It reads, "Next stop, unknown." He looks at his reflection in the dark window, and for the first time, he doesn't blink. The train and its newest passenger ride on into eternal darkness. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling tailies.